Bethany Warren here, and you've joined us for the weekly Our Millwall Fan Show with the Millwall No One Likes Us Talking team, which is broadcast every Friday evening. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2022-23 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talking's Our Millwall Fan Show. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart, and George the Lampoon Lampey.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Well, the Lions' last outing was a 2-0 defeat away at Burnley on Tuesday, which followed an incredible home defeat to Reading by a single goal on Saturday. Well, you were all there, I take it, guys?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, I'll start with you, Pat. Tell us about what you thought about the Reading game.
Well, it started off quite buoyant. First 10 minutes, then God alone knows what happened. I mean, the rest of it was negative, boring, predictable. He just don't seem to know his first 11, does he, setting up? I don't know what it is. I think he's done some good buys. It's just his tactics. He insists on 5 at the back. I don't think it works. It was depressing. I went home depressed and I questioned whether I'd go to Cardiff. That's how bad that was, I think. There's not a lot to say for that game.
Not a lot to say for that game. Depressed. And he could say goodbyes. Well, that's interesting. George, what was your perception of the game against Burnley in relation to the Cardiff game?
Also in relation to the Reading game, I thought the Burnley game was much better. I thought the side he picked was a better team. All right, we've been unfortunate playing these teams that have just come down from the Premier League. I mean, they've got all the parachute money, they've got quality players. I thought we put in a very good performance all evening, actually, and was the one area that concerns me, and it's concerned me ever since Rowett's been the manager, and I know he's done very well, and I wouldn't criticise him, but I think our forward, the last third of the pitch, our forward play, because I think Rowett is really a more defensive manager than an attacking manager. And I think that's where our problem lies. And I think that's why a lot of supporters are always quick to jump on him if he has a defeat or something. It seems to be all these Rowett out people, and I think they are very unhappy about maybe the way we play. I don't think anybody can criticise him over the last 3 seasons. Where he's got the football club on the budget he's got us, but I think there is criticism always coming at him because of the way we are set up and the way we play.
Yeah, certainly that's one perception out there. The other one is very much about the forwards not getting the service that they ought to. What's your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on that one, Eamonn. There is no... The midfield against Reading just seemed to go missing. I wasn't impressed with the official, the referee.
No.
I actually watched the Watford Borough game, which was on a couple of nights after, and in that game, when players went down, the referee was telling them to get up. But when the Reading game, when a Reading player went down, he was given a free kick straight away. So chalk and cheese on that, But I didn't think we looked worthy of any of the points on Saturday. And Tuesday night, Burnley, again, we huffed and we puffed. We held on to their coattails, didn't let them get away. But, it turned out the goals were quite easy at the end. But there's definitely no service up to the front runners. I thought Fleming played quite well on Tuesday night. But again, there's a lack of teeth at the front.
Yeah. No, it's a difficult one, George, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, when you compared on Tuesday night the Manchester City loanee that Burnley had, Teller, I mean, he could open us up at will. We need to get someone in of that calibre, really, if we're going to compete at this level, because otherwise I just see us going back down the road to the yo-yoing between League One and, if we're lucky, coming up to the Championship.
Yeah, no, I'd give you that. I mean, I'd say that, all through his time as the manager, that I don't think we have had the service to the forwards. And, I'm willing to admit that. But I don't think he sets up, the way he sets his formation up and the way he plays, he's very security conscious. He wants to not lose the game.
Yeah.
He allows teams right up to our goal area before we defend. He basically gives them like 2/3 of the pitch.
So
instead of going forward.
So although I agree with the guys, whoever their guys are up front, it doesn't matter. They don't get the service, but I think that comes from his lineups and the way he plays the game. So, he does create his own problems in that sense, I think.
Okay, well, let's see what happens on Saturday when the Bluebirds arrive with one of Pat's favourites, Steve Morison. Anyway, we'll take a break there and hear about a new fans' matchday programme.
Hi, Bethany here. Want a matchday programme? You'll find them with sellers outside the ground by the gates at Zampa Road, Stockholm Road and Senegal Road. They cost £1 and the sellers ask if you can have the right money, as change will be difficult. If you want to get a message, photos of special events, memorials or just ones for good luck to be included, email smprogram@protonmail.com. That is smprogramme@protonmail.com. It's a great read.
I'm Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart and George Lampey. Don't forget, have your pound coin ready or buy 5 for a £5 out of your wallet. Our first guest tonight was a Roehampton-born young man who came through the youth ranks at the Den. Played 53 times in all for the Lions, scoring 3 goals and kept the bench warm on a further 11 occasions. After 2 seasons, he joined Sheffield United for a fee heading towards £118,000. He spent the majority of his pro career at Southend United. In total, he played more than 460 games. He went into management and played for Haywards Heath Town and ended his career at Tooting and Mitcham, having done the rounds in non-league football. But there was a short excursion to San Pedro in Spain. He was one of 2 marks who scored at Highbury. Welcome to the show, and I know that you know it is the one and only famous Mark Beard.
Some introduction, that, mate. Get that from Wikipedia.
Well, I got all the bits and pieces of where you were, but other than that, it's well worth mentioning. Spain, God,
I've been everywhere.
I'm
like a gypsy, mate. I travel a lot.
Hey, Roehampton. Okay, then I've got that. Before I let you off to the panel, Mark, you've been in and around coaching and management since 2008. And today you are head of coaching at National League Dorking Wanderers.
Yeah.
Whilst you were at Brighton Academy, though, I think you coached one Jason Malumbi.
Mate, I got into Millwall.
Yeah, you tell the story, because what we couldn't do was manage to get him on a permanent fixture. Tell us about it.
Well, through coaching him with the under-18s, and then he went up to 23s. And I remember when Millwall played Brighton in the FA Cup quarter-final. Yeah. He wasn't playing, but he went to watch, and we was having lunch the next day, and I went to get a cup of coffee, and Beardy, Jesus Christ, them Millwall fans are brilliant. I said, you know what? You would love playing for Millwall because of the type of player he is. And he goes, Beardy, try and sort it out. And at the time, he had the knee injury. So I rang Adam Barrett straight away. Then I got on to the head of analysis there, Dan McLoone, and said, like, listen, I've got a boy, he's injured at the minute. Luckily, that summer he played for Ireland in the Toulon tournament. I think he won player of the tournament. And
he did,
Millwall watched him.
Yeah.
Millwall watched him, and they rang me back and said, like, listen, can we get it sorted? So I rang Jason, said, get your agent onto it, and it happened. And it was handy for me as well, because I've got free tickets everywhere. So, that was one of my main objectives of getting in there. But no, I knew he'd be great for Millwall because of the type of player he is. And then they asked for another couple of players. I said about Aaron Conley. Because he runs and runs, but I'm not sure he's got the same attitude, and don't know if he'd get on with a Millwall fan. So I didn't really pursue that one, but I knew Jason would be great.
Yeah. But why couldn't we get him as a permanent fixture, or is that top secret?
No, I don't really know, mate. He wanted to go because it nearly happened again, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he would have gone because he loved it at Millwall. Obviously, I think money would have been a problem because I think he's on a fair whack at Brighton. But again, he isn't about the money. But I just think the overall package at West Brom was probably better for him. Yeah, that's what I can only presume.
That looks like the way. We've got other players that went to West Brom too. But that's history now.
Millwall B team.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark. It's Pat here.
Hello, Pat.
All right. Millwall have got off to, I think, a disappointing start with 2 wins in 7. What do you make of how the Lions have started this season? Early days, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I know we started well. I think we got a bit carried away with being top of the league after one game. I actually went to the Norwich game and I was really disappointed. Again, I thought for the first 5-10 minutes I was watching it and I was thinking, we're going to do all right here. And then once Norwich setting into a rhythm, into a pattern, we never really had an answer to it. We just look a little bit toothless. We don't look. I don't know how we're going to score goals at the minute. I mean, Millwall were renowned over the years for, like last year, getting balls down the line, crosses in the box and being dangerous in the box, and just doesn't seem that same flowing patterns at the minute, or that same relentless attacking and that enthusiasm to go and want to win a football game. But it's still early days. We've got a lot of new players in, and I think Millwall, I mean, we don't start the greatest. I mean, we always start quite well, and then we have a little tail off, and then we get going again after about a month or 6 weeks. So hopefully for Gary and the coaching staff and the players, that's what will happen, because if we carry on losing, I mean, you can only fear the worst for them.
I think a few are already, but let's say.
Hi, Marcus. Dave here.
All right, mate.
I totally agree with what you said. The Norwich game it started off great, but I've got to go back now to the night over at Highbury. Was that your most memorable game of your career?
Yeah, I mean, I've had lots of good games, and there's lots of games you look back on. It's the one that everyone remembers. Like, I've played at Wembley and won the first competitive cup final there. But I mean, that Chelsea game for me as well was iconic. With, like, one, it's the last time we played Chelsea, and two, to beat them at Stamford Bridge was them memories are phenomenal. And like something that will live with you. The goal I scored against Bristol City and Sheffield United for Millwall, I love them. But the Arsenal game is always going to be that iconic night, because at the time Arsenal still are an unbelievable club. Had the famous Ian Wright, Tony Adams, that back four and Seaman. So, and no one gives us a chance really. I mean, when we turned up that day, it's not a day out for us, because Millwall is never about day out. It is for the fans, obviously, but us as players, we just wanted to go there, give a good account of ourselves. Obviously, got to a great start, and then they threw everything at us. We had some great players there, and defended for our lives. And Mark Kennedy finished it off in the last minute. And the good thing about it, and as you all know, years and years down the line, people still talk about their games. And like Gary Alexander, I was speaking to him all the time, and like all the goals he scored for me, his main goal would have been that one at Wembley against Scunthorpe. Yeah. So you get not tarnished with a memory, but for me, that was easily the best memory yet.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark. George here, mate. Mark, I see you have Niall McManus at Dorking. He was with us for a couple of seasons, but never quite made the cut. He was thought of as a determined individual, and I wonder where he had got to. But how does he fit into your team, and what is your favoured system of play, and why?
Niall's doing really well. He's probably a bit frustrated at the minute, to be the first to say, because he is a midfielder. He's a box to box. He's like it's like a Duracell bunny. He just don't stop running. He's box to box. He gets stuck in. He gets forward. but he's actually playing wing back at the minute, which he's probably frustrated with. And it's not his ideal position, but he's just doing the job for us. But no, he's a real good talent, and he's done fantastic. Like literally come from Ryman League, and he's worked his way through the leagues with Dorking, which a lot of the players have done, and excelled every season. In terms of formation, I'm all about. I've got a certain way of playing in terms of I love a higher press. I love a high energy game. And if anyone watches my teams, like I've managed 4, 5, 6 teams, they'll always be the same, whether it's an under 10 team or it's a first team. Fast flowing football, attacking, brave. But even when attacking, like, when I was at Brighton for 7 years, it's unbelievable because it's not about winning when you're the under 18. So I've learned different ways. And over the last 4 or 5 years, if everyone sees how my teams are doing, we just win every year. I've got a way of playing now, and it all comes from academy football. So if you're a coach who's coming through, want to get first team, the best thing to do is learn in the academy. Once you learn in the academy, you get a chance to experiment. And now I'm really pleased about is I proved it at first team as well. I did it with Stockton at the start of last season, and with Dorking, when I come with 14th in the league and 14 points behind Maidstone, and we ended up getting promoted. Like, I'm not just saying it's because of me, but it's just getting the boy playing a certain way. Formations, it doesn't really matter what formation you play because it all depends on person. No point playing a formation if you haven't got certain players play to what you got. I learned that from Grandpa. Like, you can have certain formations, but whatever's given to you, work it out in and around what plays to their strengths. So that's the way I like to structure.
So do you play a different formation depending on the players that you have? You know, are you chopping and changing weekly, or do you stick to a...
No, we stick playing. Like at Dorking, we play 3-5-2. Go man for man all around the pitch. So the way we do that is I've identified about 5 years ago that sometimes if you keep 2v1 at the back all the time, there's going to be one fair player in the opposition. So when I at Brighton, I used to play against the C's and the Chelsea, who dominate possession. You watch all the teams that play against them, they'll always have that security at the back, which means they can always play out from the back, and there's a low for them everywhere. So when you watch Tottenham now, it's Liverpool. The end of last season, they've now set the tone, Tottenham, for everyone that plays against Liverpool. So everyone that plays against Liverpool, when you see why they're struggling, is they go man for man on the pitch. So then Liverpool got that time on the ball. When you watch when Palace played in the other week, Newcastle Saturday, they can't play the way they used to because they're literally man for man. So that's the way to play. It gives you a clear responsibility. Then if your player gets because he's being lazy and he's not chucked his player, then no, it's a bollock. But I think if you've got one spare player on the pitch time, by having that security at the back, then it becomes like a bit of, it wasn't my man, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, interesting.
Yeah. Mark, what were your feelings on leaving Millwall and going to Brammall Lane?
Listen, I was feeling about 2 weeks after signing Sheffield United, I knew I'd made a mistake, but what really hurt me was the fact Mick rang me and said that he was bringing in Gerald Lampey, and for £500,000. That was the thing that killed me, because he said I was going for 115. He signed Lampey for 500. I knew I was a better player. At the time, I think it was because no one knows this, probably my family, but me and Ben Thatcher went on the holiday in the summer to Tenerife. And listen, we're 19 years, whatever we were. Got in a few scrapes out there. I think we beat a West Ham fan up one night. We got drunk a lot. And the papers were going to put a story on Ben Thatcher. But at the time, there was a lot of interest in Ben. He was going to Man United up 5 million or something. And I think Mick, I was a bad influence on him. It was probably the other way around. I was probably looking after Ben and getting out of trouble. But so I don't know if he thought I was strapped Ben. But if anyone knows me, I'm the ultimate professional. During the season, I went drink, I've trained that day in, day out. So when he rang me and said Sheffield United come in, everything set to the beer, and then he said he's going to bring someone in to be second choice, I was a bit heartbroken. So sod it. I'll at Sheffield United and was blown away by how big the club. And had fantastic free. My kids were born. We was in the playoffs. They've worked under Howard Kendall, who's one of the best managers I've ever played with. Some unbelievable Paul McGrath, Don Hutchison, Ian Rush, Dean Saunders, Jan Fjortoft. Some great players and the fantastic fans. Remind me of Millwall a lot. So gutted because it's my Mill's my club, and it is in things. I don't want to change it now. Looking back at it, but I was distraught at the time. Yeah.
Oh, it's great hearing that, Mark. You're talking about Arsenal, and you mentioned the win at Chelsea. That penalty shootout at the end there was fantastic. But going back to your most memorable games, what was your most memorable game at the Den itself?
Oh God, what was my do you know what game I love? My debut, the Dave game when we beat Watford 4-0. I've got I get man of match actually. John Goodman did. He's got a hat-trick, about a 9 out of 10 in the South London Press. For me, to make the day, I had probably 700 family there, the beards from Aylesbury Estate, and all my friends and family and everyone there to win 4-0, because we were third bottom at the time. They chucked me in at a time when no one thought that I could probably play. I was 18 years old, 9 stone wet through. And then I think the first thing I did, I actually snapped Bruce Dyer up, and the fans were like biggest draw like we scored, and from then on it gave me all the confidence in the world. And second favourite game of the den, the Chelsea game at home, 0-0, which the atmosphere is the best I've ever experienced in my life, and the loudest I've ever heard let come. It still gives me goosebumps thinking about how good it was. And I think that's probably one and only, because the whole of the bottom tier was sold. The whole stadium was packed for seat. But my favourite game, probably the Derby one, beaten 4-1. I actually come on a sub at the 12 minutes. We had 2 injuries. Me and John Kirk come on the subs, and it was 0-0 against Derby. And at the time, they was like the defenders in the league. We beat them 4-1, and I think it's my best games I ever played. But also, it's just amazing games I've been involved in. Don't know if any of you remember that game.
Some great games there, yeah.
Mark, it really is, despite it only being 2 years when you were with us, 2 seasons when you were with us, it really is remarkable how well you are remembered and what people think. But as usual, we do ask for a prediction for Saturday's game against Cardiff City, when ex-Millwall player Steve Morison returns. What do you reckon?
I love Mora. I played him a year at Stevenage, and I could text him now while I'm talking to you, and we respond within 5 seconds. I think he's got a phone permanently glued to his. He's a great guy, as much as people think he is miserable. To be fair, when I was at Stevenage with him, in training, I think we'd just drag someone off of a park bench and tramp or something, because he would be the worst player in training. Every week we'd do Jersey, he would get it without a shadow of doubt. Come on a Saturday, score hat-trick every week. It's unbelievable. So when Millwall signed him and they asked me what he's like, I said, fuck it, he's unbelievable. Millwall player through and through. It'd be unbelievable. But I could see him having clashes with the fans away, and he did at times, because he don't care what he says. He looks miserable, because he is, but what a player. And I know he's doing a great job at Cardiff. But Millwall, whenever the going gets tough and it looks like it's all doom and gloom, they will come up with results. So I'm going to say Millwall going to win 2-1.
That'd be lovely. I think there's a few other people that have that view in their head. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
And answer that phone. It might be Rowett looking for a second.
You never know. You never know.
And we're going to get 2 own goals. That's how we're going to win.
Yeah. That'd be the answer. Anyhow, thank you, Mark. We look forward to you returning not too distant future with your extensive background in the wonderful game.
Thank you.
All the best with Dorking Wanderers. I've seen not quite a perfect start, but it's balanced at least. But bye for now, and all the best to your family.
Cheers, Eamonn. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
See you later.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a strange sounding Mark Beard there, live from his car somewhere in the UK. Anyhow, we'll take a break there and listen to Debbie Julians and Harvey Brown talking Lions Food Hub.
First of all, let's hear from Harvey Brown.
Have you heard of the Lions Food Hub? That Millwall Lioness, Kelly Webster, is involved. Don't forget to help the Lions Food Hub if you can. Thank you.
As Harvey said, they need your support. If you can help, and you can make a one-off or a regular monetary donation at Banquet, that is BANKUET. You will find them online. Insert www.banquet.co.uk/Lions Food Hub into your browser. I'll say that again, www.banquet.co.uk/Lions Food Hub. And the Lions Food Hub is all one word. On match days, you can make food and toiletry donations at the Lions Food Hub, which is opposite the 1885 bar at the Cold Blow Lane end of the ground. Alternatively, you can also contact the team via the Lions Food Hub Twitter or Facebook sites.
Well, I'm Eamonn Barclay. With me, I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart and George Lampey. Energy and food poverty, well, it's rising, the price of both of those things beyond our wildest dreams from 12 months ago, and is likely to double or triple again. But your kindness will be much appreciated and lessen the burden on the many families at risk. Let's hear from Aylesford, who looked excellent kicking a football around, wielding a cricket bat, playing 10-pin bowling and sporting her new Millwall kit on Millwall Past and Present on Facebook.
Alice here. Thank you for watching my videos. Now to hear what the Millwall Lionesses and Romans have been up to, and to hear who is next up for Gary Rowett and the Lions. Come on, Millwall!
Well, come on, Millwall. I think that's a wonderful thing to say. Absolutely. We need them to be there and at it when they face Cardiff. Anyway, the Millwall Romans and Millwall Pride kick off against each other on the 11th of September. And sadly, Patricia Maslin can't be there to photograph the guys in their new kits. But we'll hear from them once again on the week beforehand. The Millwall Lionesses entertained Aylesford on Sunday at Rotherhithe for the first home game of the season after losing to Saltdean the previous weekend. Jeff Burnige was there, as he normally is, and with Jeff there, he roared them on, but he also made a report. Here's Jeff.
This is Jeff Burnige reporting for Millwall Lionesses. The Lionesses won their first home game of the season against their bogey team, Aylesford. It was 4-2, but they relied on 2 late goals to snatch all 3 points. The team featured debuts for the club by Sophie McCormick and Chanel Richards, both of whom started on the subs bench. Surprisingly, Aylesford took the lead after 24 minutes, but a great goal by Jade Keogh, who got the ball out of her feet some 30 yards out and smashed it in the top corner for an equaliser. And then Cadence Kabadaki, she came on. It is roll on, roll off in this league. She came on, got a turn in and smashed one in from the edge of the box with her left, her wrong foot. A great goal from Cadence. After half-time, we were probably more on top, but against the run of play, Aylesford scored an equaliser with a goal which was a deflected shot, which went up in the air and right into the top corner, leaving goalkeeper Serena Hand with no chance. The Lionesses were getting more and more on top and getting frustrated, but they were driven on largely by right-back Millie Connell, who was probably our best player on the day, and eventually the pressure told. A great goal by Grace Seeley, her second in 2 matches, put the game to 3-2 basically on the 90th minute, and then in stoppage time the win was clinched with a great left foot strike by Jasmine August. So 4-2 for the Lionesses. On to next week. We're at home again against 2 o'clock against Enfield.
It's not 2 o'clock, actually, it's 3. Alex Russell told me for the foreseeable future it's 3 o'clock at Salter Road when they're at home. You can also read Jeff's reports in the Southwark News. So get your Southwark News and read all about it. Pat, what are your hopes for the Lionesses this season?
Well, can I just add that we're doing reports in the programme for the Lionesses as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Who's doing those for you, Pat? I'm interested.
Friend of a friend.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, with the profile of women's football has been raised, as we all know, in the last few months, which in turn is inspiring our next generation. I just hope there's a lot more girls apply to have trials with the Lionesses. That's the only way they're going to really rise up to what they used to be. they started quite well the season, lost one, won one. But I wish them all the best for the season. Hope I get down to see them, take some decent snaps of them, maybe a team photo if they want one.
I'm sure they would, and I'm sure the Romans and Pride would too. So let's see what happens there. Dave, anything to add?
Well, I think to support the Lionesses is quite easy to do if you live local, like I do. Playing on a Sunday, 3:00 kick-off it's just a little trip up the road. Go and watch a game on a Sunday afternoon, and you can get yourself out. And it is entertaining football. If you're a bit sceptical about women's football, believe me, it's just as entertaining as men's football.
There you go. Sceptical or not, George? What about you?
Well, I just, because they're the Lionesses, I just, follow them naturally. I very much am looking forward to getting down there, and I'm also keen to come and see the Romans play, actually. So sometime I do want to get down to see them all actually play at some stage. And yeah, I'm just glad that we carry all of this in the show, or that we cover all these aspects of Millwall Football Club under the umbrella of, and I wish them all the very best for the season ahead.
Super, George. And touching up on what Pat said, do you know someone, or do you think you have what it takes to join the Millwall Community Trust Post-16 programme and play against other pro clubs? Get in touch with @Millwall_MCT_Academy on Instagram about training and trials. And that's for boys and girls. Next up for the Lions is Cardiff City at the Den. Over the last 10 games against the Bluebirds at the Den, the Lions have only lost once, won 2 and drew the rest. As mentioned earlier, we'll also see the return of Steve Morison to the Den as their manager, and we may also see the return of former Lion Marlon Romeo too. Cardiff sit above us in the league by 1 point, having lost at home to Luton on Tuesday. Despite their position, the betting is evens at best for Millwall to win, and the draw is favoured next, just beyond 2-1. How do you think we will fare on the day?
Me?
If you like, Pat.
Yeah. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Try and stop her, Eamonn, because if she's talking about Morison, it'll go on all night long.
Yeah. No, it will be a great atmosphere. I mean, Moro's going to get both ends, isn't he? There's going to be the lovers and the haters, and he'll lap it up. As for players, we got young Marlon back. I didn't want Marlon to go. I mean, I think he's a great player. They bought Shea Ojo, another ex-Millwall, and also their keeper, Ryan Alsop, used to play for Millwall. So it should be a really dramatic day, and let's hope we come away with 3 points. I think it'd probably be a draw, but yeah, let's hope Rowett sets us up to win and not defend. That's all I pray.
Interesting thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I think I'll agree with what Pat said there. She's got Shea Ojo. They've just signed Callum Robinson from West Brom. And they've got this guy, Max Waters, up front. And surprisingly, they lost against Luton on Tuesday. And Steve Morison was complaining about the strikers he's brought in, lack of scoring. So it looks like he's got the same sort of problem that Gary's got. Anyway, I think it's if we start the game like we did against Stoke beginning of the season, high press, get stuck in, and Morrow will add that little touch because whether you like him or not, he was good for us in lots and lots of ways. I'm looking forward to the weekend and a win, hopefully.
That's good. George, how about you?
Well, I'm not sure what side Pat would be cheering on with Morison in charge.
I might have my Morrow Rosette on, but I'll have me Bill.
I see Steve has got something like 14 players in this season, hasn't he? And he wants to change the way Cardiff play. Now, I thought when I've seen Morison early on, and he's not had a very long career, so it's not a very good judgment. but he's played very straightforward. And now to see him change it into what we would call, or my old mate Stan would call, a modern football, I'm quite interested to see how he goes about that and if he succeeds at Cardiff with that. I wish him well. I always would do. As Dave said, he was a great servant to our football club, and I just don't wish him too much luck come 3:00 on Saturday. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Morison changes Cardiff and the way they play. It'll be interesting. And Marlon coming back, and I'm in agreement with that. I thought we would never find a back as good as Marlon, but McNamara proved to be the exception to the rule there. So, but he was still a very nice player for us, Marlon Romeo, and I hope he gets a nice hand if he plays.
Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see if our new loan signing, Callum Stiles, is in the squad tomorrow. He certainly is available after the signing being approved by the EFL earlier today. But yeah, it looks like we're all looking towards a win, but a draw is there as well, tentatively. Well, we'll take a break there and hear what Fantastic Fanatics can do with a little bit of help from ourselves. That's all of us.
Hi, I'm Richard Gordon, and I'd like to invite you to become a Fantastic Fanatic. Fantastic Fanatics is a great way to raise funds for your sports club. Sign up today, find your club, and securely register your everyday debit and credit cards. Every time you spend with our retail partners, they pay a percentage back to your club. It costs you nothing, and you can win cash prizes along the way. Visit fantasticfanatics.com and help your club be the best it can be.
I'm Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart and George Lampey. Don't forget, have your pound coin ready or buy 5 for a £5 out of your wallet. Well, with Christmas a mere 114 days away, why not spend through the Fantastic Fanatics site and give an autumn bonus to the Millwall Community Trust? It will help them deliver such activity as school holiday camps and walking football / sports for the over 50s. How wonderful that could be. Our last guest this evening is Chief Executive at Millwall Community Trust. You know him well. I don't need to say much more. What I am going to say is, welcome Sean Daly.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well.
Hello, Sean.
Evening, Sean.
Yeah, Pat's there as well, but she's feeling a bit mute at the moment. There you go. That's all right. That's all right. Sean, with the Community Trust responses increasing, it was good to see Lewisham Deptford MP Vicky Foxcroft at the Lions Centre recently. Do you get many visits from local politicians, and what is their purpose?
I'm working on them. I'm working on trying to get politicians down to see us. It's one thing I think we don't talk enough about is what we do. So we invited all the local councillors that got voted in the last election. And what I really wanted to show them was what we do in their ward, what we do in their boroughs. And if they have issues in their boroughs, why not come to Millwall and see if we can help with those issues. So we invited about 20 new councillors down. Me and Steve did a presentation, one about the club and then one about the Community Trust and what we do and how we address the needs of the community. And then on the back of that, Vicky emailed me and just said, look, could I come down individually? I'd just like to have a chat with you about some of the issues that's going on in Lewisham. And that was it, really. It was just really to showcase what we do in their wards. I mean, we've got some great feedback. And then, how can we support them? Because they're all going to have issues in different wards, Deptford, Lewisham, wherever. And I thought, if I could build a relationship with the council in that local area, that would help me get, first of all, into the local community, but it will also help them address some of the needs they've done. So it was very rewarding. We're going to look to do it as well for Southwark in the next couple of months. One of my trustees, Simon Hughes, is working on that as well. And again, just to showcase what we're doing within their boroughs.
That's good. That's good.
Hi, Sean. It's Pat here.
Hi, Pat.
Hello. It was great to hear from Alex Russell last week talking about the Millwall trip to Kenya. How's the project for 2023 going?
Yeah, it's going really well. We've had about 25 people interested in going.
Wow.
We've signed up about now who've committed, about 10 have committed already, paid their deposits, ready for going for June next year. It's something I wanted to do when I came here. I've had the experience of being out there, and I just felt it was something that as an organisation, Millwall and the fans, to go out and support communities in a different country. And I know everyone that went out on the last trip had a great time. They helped build a school. They went on safari. There's a different way of culture and stuff like that. So it's a thing I want to try and bring in regular, and I want to try and get as many fans, many staff, from the trust, from the club to go out and experience that.
Well, that sounds a bit better than going to Cumbria, Pat, doesn't it?
Anything sounds better than going to Cumbria, doesn't it?
That's true, actually.
So I sign all of you up, yeah?
Yeah. Why not?
Season.
Tis. Dave.
Hello, Sean. Dave here. Are there any more details on the elite football development, which includes the Millwall Community Trust establishment?
Yeah, we've had some more meetings with local councillors down in Kent. We've had some meetings with Ben Thatcher and London Golf Club, who will be our neighbours if the training ground goes ahead. And we've had another consultation with residents down there. Application's gone in now. It's gone into Sevenoaks District Council, and you leave it out there for about 2 months where people can view what it's going to look like when it's built. They can also ask questions, and then they can put up any objections or any feedback they want for it. So I think we should get an answer around November of yes, when we've got the planning permission, or no, we haven't got it, etc. But I think the deadline's looking around about November. But it's all out to consultation now. It's out in the public consultation for people to view it, have a look at it. And then the start of it, if we're successful, would be January. They're looking for a build possibly in a year build. So it'd be like 2024 when we would be able to take residents in that area. But it's looking good at the moment, very good.
Right, it sounds like it is. Yeah, great.
No, it's rather incredible how well that's gone.
It's great for us as well because we're not going to move from Lewisham, so we'll still be based in Lewisham, still serving Lewisham and Southwark.
That's right.
But now we'll have another area, Sevenoaks, Tunbridge, West Kingsdown. Yeah. So we had last week. We put a fun day on down at West Kingsdown, right near London Club. Had about 150 people turn up, local residents. Excellent. And then we bussed about 60 residents in on the bus with tickets to go and watch the game on Saturday, and then bussed them back to Kent. And that's eventually what I'd like to do. I'd like to start transporting people from Kent down to the Den.
Yeah, that'd be a good move. That'd be good. Oh, George will get involved now that it's that once it all goes ahead because he's close by. I'm surprised he never went to the open day, but it really sounds good. Anyhow, here's George himself.
Right.
Hi, George.
Well, first off, hello, mate. I would have liked to have known when that was on, actually. So, to have come down to the meetings at West Kingsdown. As I said, I live down the road, so I would have been interested in that. The thing I'm interested in is I'm amazed how many players from the first team squad you've got as MCT ambassadors. Can you give me a bit more information about that?
So a few years ago, when I first took over, one of the remits we have is that, and it's built into the players' contracts, is that they will go out and do some community work and support the local community. And from my experiences, not just at this club but other clubs, you take players out to schools, to events, to youth clubs, etc. And sometimes they haven't really got an interest in it. They'll go there, they'll sign autographs and be great with the kids and engage with the fans and everything else, but they don't really have an interest in it. So 2 years ago before COVID, I spoke to Gary when I first took over and said, look, I'd like to come down and present to the players the community programme because it's great them coming out and I really, really appreciate that. but I'd like them to know a little bit more about what they're coming to and what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
So I had a presentation, and it went quite well. I had to present, actually, talk to the players, because I was trying to put it up onto a TV, and the TV hadn't worked for 2 years, but no one had told me. And it went down quite well, and we got about 7 ambassadors out of it. And then what I did was they had an interest in certain things, so disability, schools, football development, and then I took them out. So this year I phoned Gary again and said, look, I'd like to do it again. A new set of players, probably don't know about the trust and what we do in the local area. Could I come down? So I came down. Sean Hutchinson set it all up for us. It did help with Billy Mitchell winning Community Player of the Year for the Championship. So he talked about his experience and what he'd done. And then I just presented each programme, our schools programme, our NCS, our disability, our holiday camps. And they were just, all of them were just said, no, I would like to be part of that. So what they've done is they've doubled up, and they've each taken a strand. So, for instance, I've got someone like Billy Mitchell and Danny McNamara have taken over football development. So if Danny can't come out, Billy will come out, or they'll come out together. But I just wanted to have players that had an interest in that programme, because I don't want to drag them out, but they all seemed very interested in some of the things we did. So that's how I got them all, really. We've got about 14 ambassadors, and they're starting going out as from next week.
And are most of these players keen? I mean, I know that, they might get bullied into it or something like that, but are they most of them genuinely keen to help out?
Yeah, it was not one of them did I have to say, I'd like you to do it. It was quite interesting, because I presented to everyone and presented everything that we did and why we do it, because I think that's important. We don't just set up a crime reduction programme. We set crime reduction up because Southwark is the second highest knife crime in London. So that's why we set it up to impact that. And when I finished it all, I just said, I'd like some volunteers for this. George Honeywell put his hand up and said, I'll take any of them. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm interested in all of them. I said, well, which one would you like? What did you do at Hull? And he went, not like this. We were literally just taken out. I'll take any one of them. I love all of them. So he literally signed up there, and then they all just went straight away. No, I'll do it. And they've all got an interest in it, because I don't want to say, look, I don't want to take you out to something you've got no interest in. If you're interested in young people and schools and that, I'll take it. So some of the players picked that. Some picked disability. The 2 lads picked football development. A couple of them picked the girls' football, to come and support the girls' football and help do a bit of coaching down there and that. But they were very interested. And I don't have any problems with players when they come out of them. They're very respectful. They are very much engaged with the player, with the programme and the people involved in it.
No, it's great.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Well, it's great to talk again, Sean. But lastly, as is the tradition, how about a prediction for our match against the Bluebirds at the Den tomorrow?
I think we'll turn the corner now. I think we're going to start picking up results now. So I'm going to go for a 2-1.
2-1. Okay, that'll be good. I'll take that every day of the week at the moment.
So would I, yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, thanks for joining us. We look forward to hearing from you again soon. You and your team keep up the great work, and all the best to you and your family. Bye, Sean.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for all your support.
Cheers, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
And that's Sean. He's gone. Well, very interesting stuff there, particularly around what's going on down in Kent and the new elite football accommodation. But anyway, we'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Warren, strangely enough, talking about how to support the Millwall Community Trust.
The work of the Millwall Community Trust makes a big difference for people in Lewisham, Southwark and North Kent. Times are getting tougher, and to help them make a difference, you can help too, by making a donation. Give a one-off donation or a monthly amount. Your support is crucial in raising vital funds for their work, or by fundraising for them. If you are running, swimming, cycling, cooking, dancing, parachuting or anything else, why not do it for the Millwall Community Trust? Interested? then either email inquiries@millwallcommunity.org.uk or phone 0207 740 0503. I'll say that again. Email inquiries@millwallcommunity.org.uk or phone 0207 740 0503. Thanks if you can.
I'm Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart and George Lampey. Certainly, and just what you've heard, the work our trust does is second to none. And if you can make a donation, it will go a long way to help others in our community. Well, here is looking forward to the games ahead. But in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans.
First off, what about sponsoring a player? Enjoying a great executive lounge VIP package with family and or friends, or just getting behind the club in a number of different ways, and that includes business propositions from advertising to sponsorship. Just contact the helpful team of Andrew Stead, Edgar or Lucy in the commercial department to find out more. Good night.
Next week, Eamonn is back again for the show on Friday at 8 p.m. to host Stan, Ted and Jeff. There will of course be a review of our game and a preview of what is coming up with a couple of guests too, so don't miss it. Also, the next Millwall History and Heritage Tour will take place on September the 24th, starting at 11 o'clock, and tickets are currently on sale on eventbrite.co.uk. That's eventbrite.co.uk. Just search for Millwall History and Heritage on the site, and that's good night from me.
Remember Charlie Wynn? We had him on the show a couple of times. Had a promising boxing career ahead of him, but incurred a serious injury in the ring. Martin Cooper is promoting a Charlie Wynn benefit evening on Saturday the 17th of September at the Eltham Hill Social Club. Tickets are now all sold out, I'm afraid, but there are great prizes for the evening. But if you can donate any further prizes for the auction or raffle, that would also be fantastic help. Martin will be in the wheel shunters before the match, or you can contact him on our Twitter or Facebook sites, and that's Millwall No One Likes Us Talking without the G, and I'm sure they would appreciate that very much for Charlie. Good night, everybody.
Don't forget, you'll be able to listen to the No One Likes Us talking team bring reports from our games both home and away for both the Lions and also the Lionesses, and also updates on Millwall Community Matters too, on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Additionally, links to us are on our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter social media sites and all popular podcast sites. Well, that's it from me. Thanks, Pat, Dave and George. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night.